This is Altazar of this YouTube channel and altazarastrology.com. This presentation is an invitation as well as a brief sample of what my upcoming Zoom meeting is going to be about, in which you're invited. This Zoom meeting is titled Spiritual Astrology: Your Blocks to Experiencing Inner Peace, as revealed by your astrology chart's zodiacal symbols, and how those might be understood in terms of your relationships, your career, your friends, social associations, and even your experience of political figures, as those circumstances might trigger, or as some people say, push your buttons and activate resentment or other turbulent emotional experience in varying degrees, of course, that detract from your inner peace and even prosperity or awareness of goals or a path towards greater prosperity. So, past participants have found this play shop, if you want to call it that, this Zoom meeting, to be quite a profound revelation in which I'll hone in on the symbols in your astrology natal chart, as they may indicate the kinds of people or circumstances or job or career or even friendships or political figures who reflect back to you a certain uh, agitation, and how to deal with that or come to an awareness of the spiritual growth practices and or personal growth activity or practice that actually contributes to your being able to transcend or even no longer engage those kinds of evocative or provocative circumstances. That's what inner peace really is about. So today, I will also remind you that, as has been listed, this Zoom event is going to occur this Sunday evening, October 19th, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Central, and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And registration information is going to be presented on the screen here as well as listed on the YouTube channel. In this presentation on YouTube, I'll be giving you a sample using the astrology natal chart of John Lennon, the deceased singer, songwriter, and most famous participant in the rock group The Beatles from the 1960s. Looking at his natal chart, and I choose his chart because we are in the period of time of the sign Libra this month. His birth date was October 9th, 1940. And so we'll take a look at his chart and you'll see how I will hone in on what his chart implies about his personal growth, or if you will, karmic predisposition brought into this life that would present potential blocks or frustrations he might experience And that will be kind of a sample of what I'll be getting into at this Zoom meeting on Sunday. So before I do that, please do like this video if you find it insightful, and or subscribe to get notifications about future videos that I'm conducting on all sorts of topics and or uh, celebrities or notorious challenging individuals as they further reveal aspects of what I talk about forensic astrology. Now, why bother exploring one's natal chart in this context? In other words, why even attend this play shop, this Zoom meeting? Well, as many who subscribe to my channel are well aware that your astrology chart, in a sense, is your spiritual report card in the school of life and is a most profound, detailed revelation of your potential gifts, talents, and natural abilities that you have the potential for cultivating and expressing in this life, and also the karmic predisposition, potential negative attitudes or beliefs or behaviors that you're called to get out of denial about in this life. And as one does, and as I have, uh, one actually experiences greater inner peace as well as more loving relationships and prosperity because you become a more authentic person and not as much, let's say, distracted by fear-based ego. So I'm going to now bring up the chart of, and at this time, I'm going to bring also up not only the chart of John Lennon of the ex-Beatle, but also the basic information for registering and signing up for this profound Zoom meeting. So let's bring that up. So before I bring that chart of John Lennon over for further view, uh, here's what the summary of this upcoming Zoom meeting is about. And so if you are inclined to join this meeting, this meeting is not only going to reveal what your potential personal growth blocks or frustrations with certain types of people, careers, or other circumstances, or even political figures like Donald Trump might push your buttons and aggravate your day. Uh, so we'll also reveal the personal growth and spiritual practices that may be associated with healing and transcending those blocks. So here's the basic information. And the fee for this meeting is only $30. There'll be a maximum of 8 people. And you can make payment through Venmo using at Altazar as the location for your payment, or PayPal using this of one of my email addresses, astrozar@yahoo.com, noting my last name, Birkin, to corroborate that you've got the right place. Or use Zelle and this number here, 303-727-0023, and sending your $30 payment that way. And then, of course, also email me either at this email address or altazarastrology@gmail.com to confirm your registration with your birth date information. So now I'd like to further our discussion. I'll leave this up for your information and get into the astrology chart of John Lennon. So, as many of you know, John Lennon was of the foremost leader, I'd say almost equal to Paul McCartney of the Beatles in terms of being the lyricist songwriter for their top 40 hits in the mid 1960s. And eventually, after the Beatles broke up in the early 70s, pursued his own career as a singer, a songwriter, and had top 40 hits of his own. Now, John Lennon, as you may know, is a Libra, born on October 9th. There it is, Sun at 16 degrees Libra. And so the point of my exposition here is we're going to hone in at this Zoom meeting on your astrology chart and not get into a complete life purpose interpretation of your chart, but hone in on, what one may need to get out of denial about or have a deeper understanding of your attitude, belief, or behavior, karmic predisposition that may be contributing to having attracting irritating people or having certain blocks or frustration with certain types of people or career or job circumstances or even political figures or bosses or your wife, relationship, husband, or others. And so from this point of view, it's no coincidence. And so first of all, we look at a person's Chinese year. John Lennon, born in 1940, is born in the year of the metal dragon. That's a profound year. Bruce Lee, the so-called Kung Fu champion and titled himself the Dragon, is a Sagittarius born in 1940. Uh, so when one is born in the year of the dragon, it does imply that they're a powerful soul. They come into this life with a pretty evolved ego and or as well evolved spiritual consciousness and confidence to express and dramatize through their own unique individuality uh, some kind of inspiration. Now, if someone is born as a Libra, that, as you know, the symbol is the scale of justice, and Libra most profoundly is about being an air sign, someone who's here to cultivate their communications ability, but very likely and more favorably through the arts and through literary expression and or music. And as well, Libra's the sign of justice and those who may be advocates or activists for peace and justice in the world. And well, lo and behold, Mahatma Gandhi, the great liberator and political activist of India, and also most profound teacher of nonviolent, peaceful resistance to economic, political repression and expression, is a Libra as well. And so we look at a person's sun sign because it is from this point of view, the most profound path or calling for evolving one's soul and their self-actualization. So, unlike Western pop media, uh, that you just uses your sun sign to talk about who you might be romantically involved with or otherwise, in terms of your inclination to fashion or arts or other cultural trends. Uh, it's really your Mercury, your Venus, and the other planetary positions that go to describe how you might be engaging life on a day-to-day level and or your personality. And so when we look at the chart of a Libra, and uh, Libra is the most profound sign for finding the ultimate relationship in your life or soulmate, and we are aware that John Lennon was able to consummate that with Yoko Ono, who became his lover, partner, uh, spouse, etc., uh, partner for having a child, Sean, as well. Uh, that was one actualization, self-actualization he completed before his assassination in 1980. Uh, However, what I want to hone in on here is if we're looking at the chart of a Libra, born in the year of the dragon, and that's kind of a contradiction because, the year of the dragon correlates with the sign Aries, which is the opposite of Libra. But that's really the point, that the dragon is here to be a champion, a fighter, or someone who comes into this life also with, a rather strong, independent, even aggressive self-will. And so we see that in the chart of John Lennon, that his Mercury in Scorpio at 8 degrees does indicate he had a very deep sensitivity, profound perceptivity of consciousness that could also communicate through passion and emotion perspectives on relationships. What were most of the Beatles' tunes, especially in the early days and in the mid 1960s, all about the nuances and the frustrations of romantic relationships. And so we see yet that the high side of John Lennon being the moon in Aquarius in a trine to Mars and Neptune shows a deep sensitivity and perceptivity of humanitarian values, trine to planet Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the sign of emotional fulfillment coming through communications that uplift the consciousness of society and or humanity. However, uh, that Mercury in Scorpio is also in a square to Pluto and opposite Jupiter and Saturn. So what this, people who have Mercury in Scorpio, depending upon their karma, here their karmic predisposition of whether they have mastered communication dynamics, which are the calling to express and communicate in ways that uplift, inspire, and also engage in peaceful ways that also facilitate uh, understanding and mutual receptivity. Well, Mercury square Pluto, and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and in Leo, being one that can be very creative with their perceptivity. But the square implies a karmic healing associated with the need to uh, become much more tactful and transcend an egoic sense of superiority, uh, or even condescending criticality, which may be actually true or accurate in regards to their judgment. Mercury opposite Jupiter, Saturn shows a strong uh, scrutiny and perceptivity about the political, social, cultural, economic structure of the world that, again, may be accurate. Uh, However, the profound question is whether that communications orientation is overly critical, condescending, and alienating towards the greater public or other individuals, or whether or not one works on themselves to find their inner peace and cultivate tactfulness in regards to sharing what may very well be accurate perceptions and criticisms of the detrimental political, economic, social structure. So we see that John Lennon had his challenges that way. And, he was somewhat of a fighter when he was a teenager, uh, and evolved to a place where he comes up with one of the most profound songs that is used even today in all sorts of political, economic organizations and meetings. And that is the song Imagine. Imagine all the world living in peace. And so the lyrics and that song, which uh, became published and popularized in the 1970s as he evolved his independent career, and that is the the calling for a dragon, uh, to evolve and have cultivated their personal growth healing that opens the profound confidence and faith that comes from the universe through them to then be that unique individual inspiration that John Lennon became. So, this is a sample of what we may look at in the unique configuration in your astrology natal chart. So I look forward to you here again, the registration information. Contact me at astrozar@yahoo.com if you have any questions of clarification or want more information. And I look forward to your attendance, or please do subscribe and view my other videos and or upcoming videos.